Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the Invictus Racing League IRL F1 League here on the PlayStation. My name is Gareth Hall, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-commentator himself, Sab. How are you doing, Sab?
I'm good, thank you. It's round two, and we're in Australia tonight, completely different to what we had last week around Mexico. I cannot wait to see how these guys get stuck into it. We had a thrilling race, wasn't it, last week? We had some good debutants and plenty of penalties, but tonight's race I'm sure will be a bit different, but I'm sure with the tight, narrow street track as it is, I'm sure we'll have plenty of excitement as well.
Yeah, and you just alluded to there. It's been a while. It's been 4 seasons. We're here in Melbourne, and not since very early on in F1 2019, if you can even remember that game, have we been down at the Melbourne Street Circuit. As you say, street circuit, very, very difficult in sections, very flowy if you get into the groove here, but be enjoyable to see what these guys can do this evening. I actually had to blow the dust off my notes. It's been so long since we've been here in Melbourne. But Sab, it's a circuit you've actually attended in real life, so tell us a little bit more about it.
It's a fascinating circuit, I'll be honest. As a spectator watching the race, I wouldn't say it's the most thrilling of races, but what I found really fascinating about it was being able to see these cars doing the things they do so close to you. You can be sat within feet of these cars doing 200 miles an hour. It's a real rush feeling. It does give you a huge respect for what F1 drivers can do when they can throw a car like that, a really big car, aren't they, by these standards today, and 9 times out of 10 get it round here without any damage whatsoever. But in terms of racing, as in real F1 world, I don't think it's probably up there the best, most entertaining races, but I'd say if you ever have the opportunity to go and you're in Australia, when obviously all this pandemic passes, it's definitely one to attend, because it's not only fascinating to see these guys race around there, but the atmosphere, and it's like a festival. Everything about this place is absolutely superb, so it's definitely one, if you've got it on your bucket list, to definitely do. But it's what do you say, Gareth? You've obviously raced on here on the game. Is it one track you enjoy, or is it one you tend to avoid?
I don't actually mind Australia. I find if you get into the groove here and you can get your rhythm in, that it does come quite nicely. It can catch you out, a very tricky sweeping section, turn 11, turn 12. Watch out for that tonight. That is going to be a hot zone if we're going to see any incidents, and I will point them out as we go to qualifying in just a few moments' time, as for anything that we see that might happen to catch out some of these drivers. However, as you say earlier on, the guys did very nicely around Mexico, just a couple of penalties, but no incidents, which is always good to see, especially everyone with a little bit rusty, but coming back and doing very nicely indeed. And they head here for round 2 of 12. Plenty more racing left to go this season, and it is at the Albert Park Melbourne Australian Grand Prix, a 5.3 kilometre circuit. That's 3.29 miles. Distance to turn 1 from pole position, just 350 metres, with that longest straight being the main straight. It's around 860 metres. Top speed, well, they'll be hitting around about 180 to 186 miles an hour on the approach to turn 1. We're full throttle, 70% of the lap here, so a lot of the time they'll be using that throttle pedal. Fastest corner, we're around about 160 miles an hour around turn 11 and turn 12, and gear changes, it's 55 over the lap distance and over 50% this evening. That makes 1,595 gear changes. And welcome everyone that's joining us here in the comments this evening. Hopefully you're all having a great day and we can provide you a fantastic evening's entertainment, and make sure that if you are enjoying it, you can give us a help by clicking the like button. Really does help the league out. And of course, if you're new, make sure you press the subscribe button and join in with all of the streams that IRL will be bringing you all throughout the week from all 3 gaming platforms. Of course, we'll be on the Xbox and on the PC coming up, but it is just for tonight, the IRL F1 League here on the PlayStation, with the premier class of PlayStation drivers, and one of those, Sab, is Harry, race winner last week. Now, what can we expect from Harry tonight?
Well, it was a near perfect race weekend for him last week, wasn't it? Pole position and the race victory. He's done exactly what he needs to do in terms of going for this title. He's, as we discussed last week, he was struggling against Gamer in the last few seasons, but now there's a real opportunity here for him to take the bull by the horns. And around this track, it's going to be tricky. And as I'm aware, he's put plenty of laps in to get this title challenge fully on the go. And hopefully, for Harry's sake, he's found a setup. He's found a rhythm around this circuit, and if he can do what he did last week, you can't really rule him out to be the favourite going for this title challenge. Last week, though, he did have a very good challenger and a debutant in Stinson, didn't he? So it'd be fascinating to see what Stinson can do this weekend, because Stinson really pushed Harry. Unfortunately for Stinson, those penalties eventually cost him, but without those penalties, I think Stinson and Harry could be looking like the front runners for the race victory again tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you there. Stinson looking a very interesting prospect in only his second race here in Invictus Racing League. And we head to the circuit now. We'll get to see what the Melbourne weather will be doing for us. Usually fine, that it is lovely, dry and sunny in the Australian skies. And we aren't disappointed there, as it looks as though it's a lovely day here in Australia. The guys don't have too much to worry about just yet. But yeah, Harry coming into this season as favourite, and you alluded to a little bit further back that he has had 2 seasons where he's just been pipped to the post by CRG Gamer, of course the 2-time champion in the last 2 seasons. And what's the different mindset for Harry coming into this one, where his is well realistically expected to pick up the championship come the end of the season?
It is a different mindset. You're definitely right there, because he's now, like you say, coming into as favourite. So he's got to just make sure he just keeps doing the things he knows best to do. Get his head down. Don't start to take the pressure on of knowing you are the favourite. Just focus on what you know you can do best, and the rest I think will come with Harry. He is a phenomenal race driver, and he's often proven, in the last few years especially, I believe, he's often proven that he's improved, because the first year against Gamer, I think the whole pressure of it kind of swallowed him up, and you could see that in the second half of the season. Second challenge against Gamer, he really did push Gamer all the way to Vietnam, didn't he? So this time round, without that experience of fighting somebody like Gamer, someone who's phenomenally quick and ever so consistent, I'm sure Harry will take all that experience and really put it to use around here. We've got cars flooding onto the track now, and I'm just checking the tyre allocations for everybody at the minute, and all of them who are on the outlet right now, all favouring that soft tyre, so nobody thinking of putting in a banker lap on a slower tyre just yet. I'm just keeping an eye on the racing point of Bando Biz, and I thought Bando Biz last week, he had a great qualifying, didn't he? It was just unfortunate what happened to him at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, got tagged at the start of the race. Unfortunately, starting in 4th position, fell all the way back to the tail end of the pack. But I'm sure Bando will be looking at coming back stronger in that racing point. His first one to cross the line will be Bistas. Bistas, who came in 4th position last time out in Mexico after a decent race. First race here in the F1 League after making the move up from F2 last season. So we'll see what the AlphaTauri can do here in Melbourne this evening, and he'll be the first one navigating around this street circuit. And well, it's one of the tricky corners he's just approaching now. It's a very fast turn 5, and very easy to get on the curbs. Just unsettle the back end of the car and put yourself in the wall. We've seen Charlie Harris do that in the past, and he's even been saying today that he's a little bit scared of that corner. He doesn't want to get too quick through it, because he knows that he might come back and bite him. And now Bistas, just tagging the wall there ever so slightly as he goes onto the back straight. Powers down through past the golf course on the left hand side, now through the golf course sweeper, probably the hardest complex corners around the circuit, 11 and 12, and now with an extra spell of DRS as he heads down to turn 13, a heavy braking zone where you've got to get it just right to keep the revs up and keep the car flowing through the final 2 corners. He runs out a little bit wide there using the runoff area, the AstroTurf here can catch drivers out if you use too much of it, but looks as though Bistas has done a good job of it. Rounds the final corner, keep your foot in it, throttle down, DRS opens, swings up to the line, and the first lap will be a 1:19.666, which, Sab, if I tell you that the last time we were here, pole position was a 1:25.5, that's how much quicker these cars are going.
Wow, that is incredible, isn't it? That just shows you, doesn't it? Wow. I'm still keeping an eye on Bando Biz. He's coming across the line now, and it was a really nice lap from Bando Biz. 0.003 of a second quicker, but Stinson has popped up and gone even quicker in that McLaren. And Harry even got. I can't keep up here. Harry now has gone top with his teammate Scott Bugner behind to Harry with a 1:19.145. Really good lap there from Harry with Scott Bugner about 0.3 of a second behind. So currently we over 30 minutes left to go, and Renault 1-2.
Nicely done there for Scott Bugner, putting himself up into second position. And we go on board with TL44S. Well, it's a white and navy blue car with a sparkling pink helmet from Tom as Tom comes up to the line. TL44S going straight up into seventh position. A good lap there from TL44S. And we touted him as maybe one of the breakout stars of this season last week, Sab. And didn't have the greatest of first races in Mexico. But he said he's a little bit more comfortable here in Australia. What are you expecting from TL44S this week?
I think we definitely put the commentator's curse on him last week, didn't we? It was a tough old race for TL4S, but I'm imagining that he's going to probably rectify that and try and improve. And if he's confident of being able to pull a lap off round here and go for it, I'm sure TL4S, we expect to see him in the top 10. I was riding on board with Schofield, and what a lap that was from Schofield in the Williams. He's just put himself third with a 1:19.555. There's a lot of triple numbers going off there, isn't there, Gareth? We've got 444, 555 and a 666.
Well, we'll make sure that we keep an eye on. That's always a nice thing to be noticing, little quirks like that. But one of those is Paul Racetech that's out on circuit, and he had a bit of an on-off session last week in Mexico. He looks as though he's putting some decent sectors in to start with. He's gone purple on the mini-map, but of course, as we know, don't always pay attention to that. We'll see what the Ferrari can do over the third sector. Can he use some decent one-lap pace? It seems as though Paul's really increased in pace from what we saw towards the end of last season. Can the Ferrari get ahead of, firstly, his teammate, Rimac, who's done a 19.746 as he comes up to the main straight? DRS open on the Ferrari, and he crosses line third position, misses out on second on the front row by 200 a second. Great lap there from Paul Racetech.
It was a great lap, and if he could just sort out a few niggles here and there come race trim, you wouldn't be surprised to see Paul Racetech right up in there fighting in the top 5. He's definitely got the pace. He has just proven there, so be interested to see if he can improve on that for the remaining of his qualifying and then push on throughout the race. So Paul Racing in that Ferrari, definitely one to keep an eye on. A lot of people now into the pits after their first run, so at the moment we've got a bit of a lull. We've got a few guys still yet to set a time. I'm just going to keep an eye on Rudy in the Red Bull, just coming across the line now to start his first fly lap of the evening.
As his teammate JCol is also on the lap, just coming up to turn 11, sweeping into turn 12 now. Keep it in the straight line, and he does it very nicely. JCol, of course, finished on the podium in only his second race last week. Of course, he made a debut appearance in Vietnam, the last race of last season. Comes in and absolutely blows us away by finishing on third position last week. So I'm sure you're a very talented PC commentator for a Wednesday evening. JCol will be looking at making it 2 in a row here in Australia. He was surprised even himself in his results. Well, what can he do in his first lap in qualifying? He comes across the line and, it looks as though he was about to go for a lap. He's actually about to start one out, but it's on a set of mediums and, in fact, decides to go for a little bit of rallycross and caught all out of shape on exit of T2 there. So perhaps not the greatest start to the lap for the second Red Bull. Of course, Rudy, who's out on a lap at the moment. What's he doing so far?
He was purple first and second sector, but that tricky turn 11 and 12 has just caught him out, round wide, lap invalidated, unfortunately for Rudy. So that'll be one straight to go into pit lane. But he definitely looked fast there, and I'm sure if Rudy can just nail that turn 11 and 12, he can find himself really fighting. But purple first and second sector, I'm sure Harry will even be raising his eyebrows at that.
As Stinson now on a lap here in the McLaren, brand new set of fresh soft tyres on as he just locks up the front right ever so slightly into the sports centre at turn 4, and now sweeping around the very tricky right-hander, keeping it off the outside curve. Don't unsettle the downforce of the car, and he's already up by just under a 10.5, which is a good improvement. If he can keep that, he'll be rivaling Harry, who's currently sitting provisionally on pole position with 1:19.145. Harry, who only picked up his second pole position that he's had here in what's been a pretty well, decent results-laden career on the IRL F1 League, but unable to finish on pole position too many times. Only in Abu Dhabi in Season 10 and Mexico Season 12, but can he make it 2 in a row to open the season? Well, Stinson, who is going to be congratulated with joining us full-time after, unfortunately, and I'm sure the Sam Pepito fan club will be absolutely devastated to hear. Unfortunately, Sam's decided to back out for the foreseeable future. We hope to see him again very shortly, but Stinson getting that full-time seat in the McLaren comes up to the line. Can he rival Harry's time? He can, just about. Drops off the front row there. It's a 10th down on Beastas, but a good lap from the McLaren.
It was a good lap, and it was a really good lap from Beastas. I watched his lap in the AlphaTauri. He didn't put a foot wrong at all there. I tell you, he might have just locked up a little bit on the final corner, but apart from that, it was a stunning lap for the AlphaTauri driver. So Beastas on the front row with Harry at the moment. Can Scott Bugner? Oh, I tell a lie. Scott Bugner has bailed because he's invalidated on this run. I was just about to say, can Scott Bugner get himself back up onto the front row, but he has had to bail out on it. So pressure on the second Renault driver there at the moment for Scott Bugner. He'll want to try and be right up there with his teammate to try and at least help him out, as I've just seen a McLaren on the grass. I think that was Stinson, because I think he might have been getting out of the way. I panicked for a second then.
As Rimac almost ploughs it into the entry into the pit lane because he decided he wasn't going any faster. Comes back into the box, but got all over on the grass. As Foxy Red in 9th position looks as though he might be backing out of a lap there. He's moved up into the top 10. Foxy, who was maybe not had the start of the season he was hoping for. A dreadful qualifying back in Mexico, and the driver that we've seen on the podium a numerous amount of times, of course, a former IRL F1 champion back on the Equal Performance days many moons ago. He's currently in 9th position. Will be wanting to improve on that one. We've got Tail44S making his way through turn 11 into turn 12 now. Keeps it off of the grass, which is exactly what you want to do. And DRS open that third spell of DRS around this lap down in towards turn 13. And TL44S currently sitting in 10th position, which is really the last position you want to be. If you're going to be finishing in the mid-pack, you want to be starting 11th, so you get that fresh set of tyres for the race. But what can TL44S do in the AlphaTauri? His teammates currently in 2nd position. Where can TL44S go? Up to the line. Currently 11th, jumps up into 8th position. Good time there, takes off 2/10 of his fastest time.
I'm keeping an eye on Rudy again. He's coming up to that tricky turn 11 and 12. Can he navigate it better this time? He certainly can. So Rudy now looking like, if he can just navigate these final few corners to set his first lap of the evening. He did look fast on his first one until that invalidation. So what can he do on this next one? He's just got a couple of corners to navigate now, and we'll see the Red Bull driver jumping up the table, I'm sure, because it has been a tidy lap. He's coming around the final corner now for Rudy. What can he do? Headed straight towards that start-finish line. Can Rudy get himself within the top 10? He certainly can. What a lap that is from Rudy. A 1:19.165 puts him second.
Brilliant lap there from Rudy, going up into provisionally 2nd position, front row of the grid, and a nice chunk between himself and Beastas for him to find as well. As we've got some other drivers on flyers. One of those, we'll just check in with Mr. Charlie Harris, your former no assist champion a couple of seasons ago, and well, unfortunately, with losing San Francisco from the league, I've had to revert and change one of my season predictions that we made last week. So I had gone for something else, but I've decided that this is the season, Sab, that Charlie Harris breaks his Monday night duck. Of course, he was the champion on a Monday evening without picking up a win. This season, Charlie Harris, he's going to stand on the top step of the podium.
That is a big shout, and I think last week he certainly was very steady, wasn't he? He got himself comfortably up into the points, and to claim he'd not really practiced in the off-season much is a good going. I think if he can get a bit more practice in and get his eye in more often, I wouldn't be surprised to see that prediction come true. And I'm just keeping an eye on Harry, and Harry's going even quicker right now. He's just gone purple middle sector. I believe it was 3/10 up. If that's 3/10 up, he's going to comfortably break into the 1:18s here. So Harry looking like a man on his own at the minute around this circuit, coming around the final two corners now. did well not to lock a tyre up there. Round the final corner, Harry looking very comfortable, very nice here. This is going to be easily, you'd imagine, in the 118s. It is a 118.977, only just, but it is into the 118s.
The first driver to dip into that 18 mark is the recent Leonis F1 esports driver, and well, Harry doing very nicely for himself in that off season between the end of last season and this one, getting some good reps in, and well, brilliant lap time from them. The only one to dip inside the 118s as of so far, but with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the evening, plenty more qualifying, plenty more laps, and plenty more thrills, spills, and all sorts coming from everyone on circuit. We're just having, as we did in the early stages, a little bit of a lull. We've got Hatari out on a flying lap, it seems, in the Mercedes. Maybe not the start to the season we were expecting from the very quick F2 driver last season, Sam. Not quite the race we thought we'd get from the Finn in Mexico.
No, I have to agree. I expected him to be at least challenging around that a top 10. I've just keeping an eye on Andre there, and he's jumped into the top 10, into 10th place in the house with a nice lap on 1:19.586 there. But yeah, going back to Hatari, I mentioned last week that I had raced against him previously in past, and he was lightning quick, and I was fully expecting him to really push on into this season after really showing his pace in F2, but unfortunately it was a race evening to forget for him. So hopefully, for his sake, he can improve on that. But currently sitting at the bottom in 19th. What is he going to do? Is he going to improve? He does slightly improve. He's just behind his teammate into 17th place.
And we'll go on board with the Dutch Supremo. It's Burmeister, currently in 14th position. Burr, who's always got a decent qualifying lap inside him. He seems to pull out some decent laps every now and then, so we'll see if the Dutchman can do the same. And that was someone jumping up the order. I believe that's JCol that's just moved up into 4th position there, so a great lap there from one of the Red Bulls, making a Red Bull 2nd and 4th. So, well, we thought we'd see the Renaults, the dominant force this season, but at the moment it seems to be the Red Bulls just poking their noses out and saying, look, we're still here, we're still in this fight, it's very early in the season, Constructors is not out of reach for these guys.
No, definitely not. And JCol, I have been very impressed with him. You mentioned it was only his second race last week, and at the moment he's really firing on all cylinders, isn't he? And the pressure's on now with the Renault team, I'd have to say, because I was keeping an eye on Scott Bugner in his last run, and he bailed on it. He wasn't happy with that run, so he bailed on it. So Scott Bugner back out onto the circuit now for his final run. There's a bit of pressure on him, isn't there, Scott, here, because he's seen his teammate do that 118. He's surely got to get himself within the top 4 to somehow help Harry in this race, because he doesn't want to find himself 6th or dropping any further than this in the last minute or so, because it could become a very tricky evening for Scott. So for Scott's sake, let's hope he can push on and improve on that time he's set early on in this qualifying.
And up to the final 2 corners comes Beastas. He was going 700ths of a second faster. We'll see if he sticks with the lap. He does. Comes around the final corner, keeps it nicely on the curbs, gives him a good run to the line. Can he get himself back up onto the front row? It is back up with a 19 flat 0.74 for him. So just about knocks Rudy off of the front row, so it's now an all Red Bull second row. We'll see if that changes. We've got 40 seconds left to go in this session, and up to the line will come the Renault of, and we'll see it flash up, it's going to be Scott. And so Scott now on a flyer. He's going to look at moving out of 6th position. We'll see who else is on a quick one at the moment. We've got Schofielder slowing down, so in fact we'll stay with Scott Bugner on his flying lap. We've not seen Scott so far this evening. We'll see if he can improve on that 19.444. Well, you can see 0.4 of a second. If he can find it, will get him up onto the front row of the grid. His teammate Harry has just about started his flying lap. It's a half a tenth improvement for Scott so far, so that would get him in reach of possibly challenging Stinson, but he needs to take out some more time. We've got the end of the session for Beastas, JCol, Andre and Burmeister. Burmeister in 15th position, Andre just outside of that top 10 in that optimum position, but we'll see if that changes. In 11th currently. Scott Bugner now 0.17 of a second faster, so he's getting quicker as we go on throughout this lap. Can Scott take a little bit more time out through the final 4 corners of the lap here at Melbourne and get himself onto possibly the front row? We'll see. He's going to have to break out a little bit more of a gap than he's got so far over Beastas. Final 2 corners, always a little bit slow into entry there. That might have cost him a little bit of time around the final corner. Scott Bugner up to the line. What can he do? Can he partner his teammate on the front row of the grid? It looks as though he's just going to miss out, but it's going to be 5th position. Jumps up ahead of Stinson. Foxy Red up into 6th position there. We've got Stinson improving, but not by much. It's going to be very, very close, Sam.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Stinson, and like you say, he's improving, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be enough to get himself on the front row. But has his final sector done anything for him? He's coming across the line now. Oh, what a final sector that was from Stinson! A 1:19.013. He was looking like he was struggling a bit, but he made a hell of a lot of time up in that final sector. What a lap that is! And are we going to be getting the Stinson-Harry fight once again this evening?
Well, Harry going even quicker, 1:18.789 as he crossed the line there. Harry smashing his provisional pole time, but what a lap there from the Renault, once again pulling out the bag, and that makes it 2 pole positions in a row for Harry BR 25, and the man touted to be the as he even wanted me to call him the champion-elect. He's so confident this season that it's his. He's been demanding that I address him as I should do. He's gone pole. He's done exactly what he needed to. He's taken 2 poles now, 1 win. Can he make it 2 from 2? Well, it looks as though it's everyone's game to catch Harry rather than Harry to chase after another driver, which is what we've seen for the last 2 seasons. Yeah,
most definitely, and yeah, big congratulations to Harry there. Ended up 0.2 faster than Stinson, but qualifying will be a lot different to what it's going to be happening in race 2, won't it, Gareth?
Absolutely, we will see when we'll see very, very shortly. But it's Harry that takes pole position, well, 1:18.789, over 0.2 of a second faster than Stinson. But watch out for that fight. We saw it last week. It's going to go right down to the wire. Beastas once again, great qualifying result in 3rd, with Rudy and JCol making it Red Bull 4th and 5th. Scott Bugner in 6th, with Foxy Red 7th, Paul Racetech 8th, Scopefielder and Nathan round out the top 10, with Teal 4th S, Andre, Charlie in 13th, Bando in 14th, with Rymac, Burr, Marcus, Roy and Hatari. Once again, right down the order, not enjoying the start to this season is the Finn that we saw do so well in both the F2 League and the Realistic Performance League last season. But credit to Harry there. Brilliant lap there that the Renault driver pulled out from, well, what was a decent position already, but we see that from him. He seems to go faster every single lap. He just gets that confidence as he goes out there. He sets a time, and he always seems to beat it. So credit to Harry where it is due. Very impressive indeed, and expecting a dry race as well. So everyone not having to worry about any wet conditions like they had tentatively in their mind last week in Mexico. But Sab, you've got to look at that qualifying session there from Harry and think that really it is all his to lose this evening. That was a dominant display to put in that lap right at the end when he didn't even need to, and very much he's got to be he's got to think as long as he can get through the first corner unscathed, it's his to win.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there. He gets that start clean, gets through the first corner, through the first few corners, and tries to pull away from Stinson and the chasing pack behind. And I'm sure, like you say, this is Harry's race to lose this evening. And if he can do another dominant display like he did last week, then you can't rule him out, can you? This is a trickier circuit to overtake round here. So if there is anybody trying to challenge from behind, I'm sure Harry will be making that Renault as wide as possible. But he doesn't want to take it too risky because those walls will bite, and they'll bite really hard, won't they?
They will indeed. And this is the IRL F1 League on the PlayStation with myself, Gareth Hall, and Alan Sabatino, otherwise known as Sab. In the commentary box, you can find me on Twitter at GT2_driving, and you can find Sab at Alan Sabatino. Of course, this isn't the only race you'll find from Invictus this week. Go to invictusracingleague.com, or of course you can go to Invictus RL on Twitter, Invictus Racing League on Facebook, and on Instagram to find out more about the leagues, and of course get yourself on the grid. Plenty of spaces in some of the other leagues left up, and we will be racing on all 3 platforms throughout the week. Of course, tomorrow you can find here on YouTube the F2 League on the PlayStation as they make their way to the circuit, and over on twitch.tv you can find live streams of the Xbox F1 League as well. Wednesday, well, we've got the F3 and F4 leagues on the PlayStation, and we have the PlayStation. We have the PC F1 and F2 League. So we've got so many. I always lose my mind where we are. And Thursday, Realistic Performance Night. It's Realistic Performance League on the PlayStation and on the Xbox, which you can find on YouTube. So make sure you tune in for all of those races by subscribing to the channel down below. Ring the bell to be notified every time we go live. And of course, if you're enjoying the evening tonight, make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know who you're supporting, who you're watching out for tonight, and give us a like. Always does help out the channel as we get ready for the formation lap for the Australian Grand Prix round 2 of the IRL F1 League.
Well, we've got some interesting tyre choices outside the top 10 this evening, Gareth. Everybody from 13th down is on a set of mediums, with Andre in 12th on a set of softs. And interestingly, Gareth, TL44S in 11th place on a set of hard tyres. What about that for a strategy?
Yeah, well, it's something that we've been discussing with some of the drivers before the week started. Is what's the optimum strategy? Is it the soft to the hard? Will we expect possibly a safety car? Will they be able to maybe even dip for a 2-stop strategy? So, interesting decision there from Tom. 11th position, hard tyres. Now we might struggle in the early start. Of course, Andre alongside him, soft, should have the jump off the line, but it's a bold move. Will it pay off? It'd be interesting to watch what the AlphaTauri can do from 11th position. But yeah, watch out for some drivers maybe coming from the back a little bit quicker later on in this one. Charlie Harris, of course, 13th position. Maybe not. He did say that he wasn't feeling it as much as he was in Mexico. But yeah, 13th position. I'd expect Charlie to be doing a little bit better than that. Watch out for Scott Bugner, 6th position as well. Scott's actually the winner of the last 2 of 3 times that we've been here in Australia. So Scott is well regarded as a decent driver here in Australia. He is starting from 6th position, but he's got last week's 3rd place finisher JCol just ahead of him, and Rudy, who we've not seen right up at the top end, but in 4th position. Beastas we know can be very fast indeed, but they've both got to get ahead of this. Well, what I'm going to expect to see over the next few races, the battle between Harry BR25 and IFR Stinson, the 2 esports drivers that are, well, they're going to enjoy it, I think. Harry was probably going to be looking forward to having a quiet evening tonight, but Stinson, he's got that full-time seat, and he's going to be right on Harry's heels.
It certainly is, and I'm really looking forward to the battle between 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, because I think there's no time difference at all between those guys. They look all very fast, and I'm sure if Stinson and Harry do get away and run off into the distance, then that battle for the final podium place will be very exciting. So that'll be definitely one to keep an eye on this evening as the final cars line up at the back of the grid.
So we get ready here, everyone filing into position for the 2nd round of the IRL F1 League on the PlayStation. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Let's go racing in Australia, down under, lights out and off they go down towards turn 1. It looks as though it's a good start there from the McLaren. He's already jumped Harry up into the lead. Harry not with the greatest start. He might even come under threat from some of the drivers behind, but the McLaren of Stinson streaking out into the lead already. He's built a 6/10 second gap. Harry's under threat from a very, very fast JCol in 3rd position. Scott Buckner's already found himself up into 4th, so it's a good start. We've got a tag behind from one of the Red Bulls, and Red Bull's spinning onto the grass. Is that Rudy? That might be Rudy falling down the order. So after starting and qualifying so well, Rudy looking as though he might have fallen foul of everyone down at the sports centre at turn 4.
Yeah, and I don't know how Paul Racetech got involved in that, but he was facing the wrong way as well. So unfortunately, it's another poor race evening for Paul Racetech, but he needs to just get his head down now. It doesn't look like he's got any front wing damage, so he could try and hopefully catch up to the back of the pack. But real unfortunate there for Rudy, but he's stuck in that gaggle of cars down in 16th place.
And one of the drivers has made a rocket of a start is Andre. Andre all the way up from outside the top 10 in 12th position to 6th place. So Andre with a brilliant start in the Haas found himself just behind Scott Bugner. Scott Bugner, who of course moves up 1 position due to the spinning Red Bull. But brilliant start. It's going to be Stinson from the McLaren that's going to lead us away. Great start off the line, and he's going to lead across the first lap. Harry in second position, Beastas in third, JCol holds on to fourth position, Scott in fifth, Andre in sixth with his teammate Nathan just behind. Bando with a good start in eighth position with Foxy Red and Scopefield in ninth and 10th. Charlie Harris has made his way up from 13th into 11th with Rudy now on the recovery drive after that spin on lap 1.
Yeah, I think he's been given a favour because Roy Boy and Rimac have both had to pit for front wing changes, and unfortunately for Roy Boy, he got caught speeding into the pit lane, so that is from bad to worse for him, and unfortunately for Rimac as well, he's down now in 16th place, I should say. So yeah, they must have been all caught up in that tussle early on in the race, but I was keeping an eye on Harry from third position, and he just bogged down at the start, and Stinson said thank you very much and got on it, but Harry not letting that McLaren get away too easily, is he? Anyway, 0.3 of a second. I'm sure within DRS the next lap he'll be really starting to put the pressure on him.
Yeah, and watch out for Andre here. Andre, of course, started outside of the top 10, so he's got fresh softs on compared to those that started on the used qualifying sim tyres. So, yeah, Andre, he's going to have the advantage over Scott here. So we'll stay tuned for what happens with the battle in the top 3, but we'll just watch out for what happens with these two Haas cars of Nathan and of Andre that are chasing down Scott. Of course, we said Scott, two-time winner here in Australia. Stinson goes across the line. It's a 1:23.9. 3.7, the fastest lap last time around, but this time he's got Harry starting to close in. They're not dropping Beastas. Beastas once again, like we saw in Mexico, staying with the leading pair and becoming a trio, but JCol desperately trying to stay in this DRS. Is key to make sure that you stay within DRS of, especially at somewhere in Australia where you've got 3 DRS zones, you get a whole whack of it. So yeah, JCol, I'm sure, will be trying to stay on the back end of Beastas. He's just about under the bubble, 0.9 of a second. Scott Bugner, he's the one that's under threat now. He's 1.5 seconds behind JCol, and he's got both the Haas cars behind him, with Bando not far behind on, well, lovely set of mediums for Bando. So Bando in a nice position currently.
Yeah, I was just about to lead on to that. Bando is hanging on to the back of the other Haas of TTG Nathan on those medium tyres. So right now Bando's sitting in a real comfortable position. He's got Foxy Red 1.5 seconds behind, so there's no threat at the minute from behind. So if Bando can keep a hang on to the back of Nathan.
Oh, into the wall. Sorry, Seb. That's Andre out of the race. Loses it there on the exit of turn 14 into the wall. And really, unfortunately for Andre, he was looking so good earlier in this one. But you can see front wheel missing from the that one. And we've got a yellow in sector 3. No safety car. And there we go. Safety car is now out. And, well, do we see some people diving into pit lane? Paul Racetech caught it at the right time. We've got just ahead of him Charlie Harris and Rudy into the box as well. So they're all coming in for a fresh set of boots. Well, this is maybe a little bit earlier than some of these guys were planning. You can see Rudy and Paul Racetech onto the hards, Charlie onto the hards as well. So they've got this strategy called maybe, it's just worked in their favour. Safety car took a little bit of a while to come out, but when it did come out into the box, 3 of those drivers onto the hard tyres. It's maybe a couple laps earlier on what they were planning on, but this time around you're going to see Stinson, Harry, Beastas, JCol, Scott surely will have to come in. It's going to be a real struggle here if you're Scott Bugner. 5th position, his teammates only just up the road, and Renaults might even have to double stack for this one.
Yeah, that is a good point there, Gareth. Scott Bugner could really lose out. I was just flicking down the order when that accident happened, and Rudy absolutely bang on, timed that to perfection, getting into the pit lane. The safety car flipped up just as he was coming towards the pit lane. You could see, do I stay out, do I stay in, and the call was to come in just on the line, so he got that absolutely bang on to Rudy there. This, after a poor start, whatever happened at the beginning for Rudy could now start to come back in his favour. Hutari, by the way, up into 11th place after all those incidents. He's on those medium tyres, so a good start for Hutari there. He'll be looking to try and take advantage of any more mishaps, but as you can see, pretty much the whole of the top 10, except TL44S, has gone into the pit lane.
And here we go, here's the double stack for the Renaults, and of course Scott having to wait, and it's going to feel like it's going to take forever. He's sitting and waiting. He's going to lose so many positions. It's a front wing change as well for the second Renault, so Scott is going to be sitting there absolutely seething, waiting to go back out on circuit, and well, he's going to have dropped well outside of the top 10. In fact, Rudy and Charlie are going to come past him now. He might even lose the position to Paul Racetech. Paul Racetech flying down the straight, and he will jump ahead of Scott. So Scott is going to come out in 14th position. Absolute nightmare. And in fact, we've just got is that a Red Bull that's gone off at T1? It is a Red Bull, so it's Rudy that's gone off at T1, lost a front wing under the safety car. So Rudy, not what he wanted at all. As you can see, everyone's slowing down. Obviously, there must have been a collision or some sort of incident somewhere. It looks as though everyone trying to slow down to a delta. Rudy may be a cause of that, but well, not ideal for the Dutchman. It looks as though he was running so well in the early stages than this, and well, you said it was a perfect strategy. Not anymore. It looks as though it's a new front wing for the Red Bull.
Yeah, more commentators cursed this evening. I don't know what to say with that. I only caught the very end of it, and unfortunately for Rudy, that is going to just point towards the very back of this grid. So TL44S is currently leading this race on those 4-lap old hard tyres, with Hatari, who started all the way at the back in second place. I don't think Gareth he expected to be on lap 5 in second place, but he currently is on the medium tyres. So I'd imagine the likes of Stinson, who's on the medium tyres, whereas Harry's on the hard tyres, I imagine Stinson will be eyeing up these two and trying to get past them as quick as possible. He wants to try and build a gap to Harry and put some blockades in Harry's way and try and get away into the distance, but it looks like we're going to be having the safety car out for another lap. So this is working out probably nicer for Stinson, because he's on those medium tyres and he knows he's got a lot longer to go on those tyres, whereas Harry can probably take a bit more life out of him, know they'll last a bit longer. So Stinson keeping those tyres warm at the minute in third place, but it's going to be fascinating to see how this goes once the safety car comes in with those two cars at the front in TL44S and Hatari.
No, it's Schofield out of the race as well, deciding to finish the race in the pit lane this evening. Schofield, that makes it 2 races in a row that the Swede has not started the season well, and this is one of, if not the most winningest driver we've had here in Invictus. Just starting off the season in some really dire form, not what we're used to seeing from Schofield, and he ends in the pit lane lap 6. And yeah, just to go back to what you just said about Stinson, medium tyres from him in this stint, which, well, we know that the tyres go off, and when they do go off here, they become almost undrivable. They're very, very, well, especially in that turn 11 and turn 12, quick left-right. So surely Stinson is hedging his bets on a second safety car. I'd watch out, because, well, he's going to become a real headache for Harry, because Harry is on the hard tyres. And, well, he's going to struggle to keep onto the back of that McLaren if Stinson can get past Atari and TL44S when the safety car comes in, most likely at the end of this lap. It looks as though Rudy just about managing to get onto the back of the pack, and he managed to make that second stop for another front wing under the safety car. But him equally, he's equally gone for the medium tyres as well. So Rudy, having used up those hard tyres, yeah, they go lights are out on the safety car, so it will be making his way back to the pit lane. So TL44S now controls the pace. It's now up to everyone else to sit behind patiently and wait for the AlphaTauri to put the pedal down and go for it. So you'll see everyone just weaving side to side, getting some temperature back into their tyres, waiting for TL44S to decide when to get this race back underway. We're on lap 6 of 29 here for the second round of the IRL F1 League on a Monday night with myself, Gareth Hall, and Alan Sabatino. And well, TL44S waiting. When does he go? He does, right on the apex of the corner, and in fact he looks as though he's dropped Atari very nicely. Great jump and get away for TL44S there. Stinson already looking to get to the inside of Atari, but backs out of it at the last minute. Behind we can see one of the Alfa Romeo, Foxy Red, trying to go around Beastas as JCol and Harry are tagged around the back, and that's Harry that's gone around. Harry, contact with JCol, and that is your championship leader falling to the back, and oh, absolute disaster there for Harry. We We just saw it in the background. What's happened? Has he lost any front wing? It looks as though he may have just about got away with it. But yeah, you can see front wing looking okay. But Harry falling to the back of the pack was Beastas as well is involved in that one. So, disaster from Harry. He's well, right in the back of the pack, and with a decent gap between himself and Rudy, not what he needed at all.
I did not see what happened there. Unfortunately, I can't. I only flicked over to when I seen Harry facing the wrong way as Beastas has retired from this session. I don't know if he's had an accident somewhere, but Beastas has retired from the session. I was keeping an eye on Stinson, and he's pretty much pushing this Mercedes around the circuit. He wants to be careful here because he almost ran into the back of that Mercedes at least a couple of times on this lap since the safety car has come in. But Stinson now eyeing an opportunity here, you'd imagine, to really get one over his rival from last week. But TL4S is still leading his race, and here we go. Stinson gets a nice run out to the final corner on Hutari. Can Hutari hang it on in here? Stinson's surely going to have the inside line here. Surely Hutari's going to have to give it up. He does, and Stinson now up into second place. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Burmeister. Burmeister has lost the front wing. He must have lost it in that final corner, and Burmeister is going to have to suffer the pain of going around the whole of this next lap with pretty much the entire front wing missing.
Yeah, he's going to lose himself a whole heap of time doing that. But, well, Harry, BR25, 15th position. Well, and I know Harry quite well. He's going to be apoplectic in that chat that he's in right now with his teammate. And, well, I'm not looking forward to speaking to him after the race because I'm sure he'll have some choice words. It must have been an incident between himself and possibly Beastas. Beastas, who's dropped out of this race in 17th position. And Harry, of course, race winner, pole sitter, and pole sitter this evening, 15th place. He's got a heap of work to do if he's to close in. In fact, he's got past Marcus already, so he's put the hammer down. He's not willing to give up on this race. Luckily for Harry, it was the start of a safety car restart, so everyone was
Roy Boy's gone. I apologise. Roy Boy has gone right in front of Harry. Wow, that was close. And are we going to get a safety car? No, Roy Boy has managed to keep it going. It was after turn 12. I think he dipped a tyre on the grass, put him into the wall on the right hand side. The racing point, the pink racing point, was just spinning in front of the cars chasing behind, and luckily none of them clipped him. And Roy Boy manages to carry on. I thought that was a race over for Roy Boy, but Roy Boy into the pit lane now, so that has done Harry a bit of favour. That is already put him back up into 12th place, and Rudy there picking up a 3-second time penalty. So Harry at the moment is a couple of places off the top 10 at the moment, with the likes of Bando, Biz and Rudy just not far ahead.
Yeah, so Harry looking at a couple of points ahead of him as he's got Rudy and Bandos. We've got yellow in sector 3. It looks as though into the box will come Burmeister after that front wing damage. Roy Boy in for a new wing, as you said, after losing it at the exit of the golf course sweeper, and in fact picking up 5-second penalty for speeding. So his evening getting from bad to worse, and in fact it ends abruptly. But here goes Rudy. He's going to go side by side round with Bando, almost tagging the back end there of the racing point, but he's got past up into 10th position. Paul Racetech picks up 3 seconds last time around. His teammate Rimac picked up a penalty just last lap as well, so the Ferraris picking up some early penalties. Rudy now up into 10th position. And these two, well, Harry's going to be probably sitting behind him saying, let me pass, I'm quicker, you know I'm quicker, I'll pull you along. But of course, all fighting for position now. Harry is not in the ascendancy. He needs to be getting past these drivers, because up ahead, Stinson has found his way to the lead. He's up past TL4S, up past Atari, and of course, on medium tyres, he's going to have to make another stop. So surely he is hoping for another safety car later on in this race. Harry is just about misses the grass there, and that could have been curtains for his race, but is unfortunately not able to close in on Bando. Bando's still well within DRS of Rudy up ahead, so these two will just work with each other to hold off Harry, it seems.
Yeah, and it was a good move from Stinson. In the end, TL4S really didn't have any way to defend from it, and Stinson already pretty much a second head. But I'm just looking a bit further down. It's a great opportunity now, isn't it, for the likes of JCol and even Foxy Red too. Hutari is all out of shape there. Hutari all out of shape just before turn 11, and that's allowed JCol to sweep through, and JCol up into third place. The Mercedes driver seemingly struggling coming out of turn 10, and that was an easy move for JCol in the Red Bull into third place. And I was just about to say, the likes of JCol, even Foxy Red in fifth place is a great opportunity this now, Gareth, to pick up some really good points and even a podium.
Yes, it's Charlie Harris there sends it on Nathan. Nathan was, he was moving across the circuit, and in fact, he gives him a little bit of a return and a receipt on that one. Is Nathan wasn't quite happy with Charlie's move as Charlie into the box. New front wing needed for the Alfa Romeo. Will he get it slowed down in time? He does. Charlie looks as though he just went a little bit too deep into that one, possibly just a little bit irritated by the Haas ahead of him just weaving across the circuit a little bit, but not what Charlie needed at all. He's going to fall to the back of the order as well, and on to another set of tyres goes the Alfa Romeo. His teammate Foxy Red, nice race so far, up in fifth position, and closing in on Hatari, but it's Stinson leading this one from currently TL4S in second, who's yet to make a stop. Hatari yet to make a stop in fourth as well. So it's JCol in third, Foxy Red fifth, Scott Buckner in sixth position with the penalty, Paul Racetech with the penalty, and then we've got with Nathan, Rudy and Bando rounding out your top 10. Harry BR25 still unable to get past Bando Biz. Will he be able to do it on this straight? You can see he's much closer this time around, but of course into the very fast turn 11. We saw Charlie Harris make a move on San Pepito here a few seasons ago as Paul Racetech retiring. He's hit the wall on the exit of turn 12. Now will that bring out the safety car? Will that save some of these drivers? Yellow in sector 3. Will the safety car be deployed? It will. So here we go, second time around, safety car out. That's the second time we've seen a driver into the wall, so that's going to neutralise the race once again. Into the box comes Stinson. Will this work out very nicely for him? He's going to come and box for another set of the medium tyres, so he will fall down the order, but he's going to get a good stop. It's going to be negated with the safety car, and he's going to come out on fresh tyres compared to everyone else.
Yeah, that accident of Paul Racetech was pretty much identical of Roy Boy, but unfortunately for Paul Racetech, it wiped him out of the race, unlike what happened to Roy Boy. But Stinson now back out of the pits into ninth place, Harry up into seventh place, but I'm sure he'll not be too happy knowing that Stinson's going to be behind him on fresh new medium tyres. But JCol now. JCol and Foxy Red leading the front of this pack, and I think after that front wing change and the waiting around in the double stacking for Scott Bugner in the first safety car period, it's not worked out too badly for him now. He's currently in third place with Nathan not too far behind.
Yeah, I don't know what he was complaining about. It was all part of the plan, clearly. But yeah, let's take a breather. Let's take stock of what's happened so far. We've already lost 6 drivers from this race. We've lost Andre Scopefielder, Beastas, who may have been involved in a collision with Harry, a spin at turn 2 that put the Renault to the back of the field. That's why he's so far down the order. We've lost Roy Boy, who hit the wall on exit of this corner. We've just seen Scott enter now turn 12. We've lost Paul Racetech, who has just found himself falling foul of that corner as well. We said it was going to catch out a couple of people this evening, and it has. It's brought out the safety car on 2 occasions. And well, we've got JCol leading from Foxy Red from absolutely nowhere. Foxy's got himself up in this one. Scott Buckner in third. As you say, TTG Nathan fourth. Rudy in fifth. Of course, Scott and Rudy with penalties. Bando in sixth with Harry seventh. Marcus in eighth with Stinson now. Fresh tyres, but he's got a lot of overtaking to do, which, as you said in the start of the stream, is not easy to do here in Australia. So watch out for the McLaren in ninth position. TL44S in 10th. As into the box comes Marcus. So Marcus coming off the hard tyres. He's going to drop to the back of the pack, and but he will be able to join the train by the end of this lap, which I would imagine is when the safety car will drop back into the pit lane. And well, hopefully you guys you've all taken a breath in the comments. You've all enjoyed this one so far. My name is Gareth Hall, joined as always by Alan Sabatino. You can find me at GT2_driver. You can find Sab at Alan Sabatino. Of course, you can go to InvictusRacingLeague.com to find out more about the league's driver standings, and of course to get yourself on the grid here in IRL for the future races. Or of course you can go to our social media channels at InvictusRL on Twitter, Invictus Racing League on Facebook and on Instagram. Plenty more racing here in IRL this week, and if you are enjoying it, do help us out clicking that like button, thumbs up down below. Really does help us out, helps the league out, and as we always say, we always target having 15 likes. So if you see it's below 15, give us a help out. It's always boosts us a little bit more than you think, as we work our way around that pesky YouTube algorithm. But yeah, Sab, so far, what have we seen that you've liked?
Well, where do I start? We spoke, didn't we, at the end of qualifying that Harry's looking really strong, and if he can get away, looking increasingly likely for the race victory. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not, after 13 laps, expect to see JCol, Foxford, and Scott Bugney, your top three, as we see the safety car is coming in now. So JCol will be leading these guys round. I honestly don't know what to expect for the next lot of laps here, because we've had two safety cars. Are we going to see any more? Are we going to see a virtual safety car? Because at the moment we're running out of cars, aren't we? We've just got 13 people left on the field, and hopefully we don't have many more now. We just can get back to business of racing and seeing some overtaking.
Yep, and now is your time, guys. Before we get started, drop your predictions in. Who is your race winner this evening? What will we see over the final half of this race? We've only done 13 laps of 29, so there's loads of racing left to go, over half the race. But JCol is about to get them going. Harry has now got Stinson right behind him. That pit stop for Marcus has put no one as a buffer between them. But JCol rounds the final corner. Will he go yet? He's not gone just yet. Will it catch anyone out? They're getting ready to go, but it looks as though puts the hammer down. JCol is off and underway as we go green for the second round of the IRL F1 League on the PS4. JCol leads from Foxy Red. Scott Buckner in third position. Side by side there was Rudy and Nathan.
Oh, sorry, Harry and Bando Biz have just collided, and I don't know how they both didn't wipe each other out. Harry almost into the grass again. He was a near carbon copy of what happened to him earlier, and he's dropped down the order here, down to 9th place, and he's under pressure from Rimac and Charlie Harris not far behind. Rimac and Harry going side by side. Harry almost pushing Rimac onto the grass there. They took banging wheels again. Harry trying to stick his elbows out. Harry's onto the grass now. This is desperate stuff here. And Charlie Harris now
big crash. So as you can see, Rimac up on his wheels. He's out of the race. He got all out of shape there and just became a bottlenose effect there, as we saw, I believe, several cars involved in that one. Both the Mercedes and I believe TL44S may have been involved in that one. Scott Buckner picks up a 3-second time penalty. Will we see the safety car deployed on the lap that it was brought in? But we could feasibly see it come out. It looks as though he might get away with it, but Rimac got all out of shape, was shown the door. Harry not willing to let the Ferrari go around the outside, and he was often told, get your elbows out, Harry, and he did as such. Rimac tried to stay with it, out of shape, and was collected by several cars. Rimac ended up almost turning over. Was the ferocity of they hit the wall on the exit of turn 7, but that ends another evening for the Ferraris. That's both Ferraris out of this one. We've got yellow in sector 3. It looks as though into the box comes TL44S, so it was TL44S and Marcus, it seems, involved in that one.
Well, yeah, I could just see there was going to be an accident, unfortunately, happening there. Harry got all out of shape, firstly from Bando Biz, and you could see there was a bit of desperation from Harry. He didn't want to lose any more positions. He knew he just lost out to Stinson as always. I'm just keeping an eye on board of Stinson, and TG Nathan has run wide now, dipped a couple of tyres into the grass, and that's just opened the door wide open for Stinson. That's into 5th place in a moment. Stinson looking like he's on fire, but just ahead, Scott Bugner and Rudy. Scott Bugner has also just been into the grass, and Scott Bugner and Rudy side by side coming up to turn 11. Surely they can't go side by side through here. No, they don't. Rudy, Scott Bugner has to give up there. Rudy back into 3rd place, and what a recovery this has been for Rudy. We've seen him lose his front wing. We've seen him start off badly, but somehow, Gareth, he's into 3rd place right now. Crazy.
And Stinson now on the back end of Scott, and will Scott be able to defend from the man that has been fighting with his teammate for the win in the last race and potentially for the win this evening? He's on fresh medium tyres, and here's the run on Scott. Scott, who won't have DRS, so it's all going to be about battery and fuel use down the main straight, and you can see without DRS it's harder to get a move done, so Stinson's going to have to line him up down as they go through turn 1, turn 2, down towards the sports centre at turn 3. He's going to try to go to the outside. Scott's going to close the door. There's 2 wheels on the grass there from the McLaren. Make sure you leave a card whip. Scott gives him a little bit of a tap on exit, and Scott not willing to open the door for Stinson. Stinson will be thinking, I'm so much faster than you at this point in the race. My tyres are much nicer 4-lap-old mediums compared to the 11-lap-old hards for Scott. But yeah, Scott is a racer at heart. We know that he's used to stock car racing more with his Ford Focus, and we know that he races out on the real circuit. But this time around, he's just got to keep it clean, because he knows that Stinson, although he's fighting with Harry possibly in the championship, he's on for a good result. He doesn't want to be picking up any silly wing damage that he doesn't need. Equally, he doesn't picking up any penalties post-race.
No, definitely not. And I'm just keeping an eye further down. And the two good forwards, Rudy has managed to overtake Foxy. So Rudy up into second place there. So it is currently a Red Bull first and second. What a result that'll be for Red Bull.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, we thought with Rudy falling down the order at the start of this one that it might have been curtains for a decent result for him. But Rudy now back up into second. It's worked out perfectly so far. And this time around, you can see DRS is available for both Scott Magner and for Stinson. Scott using his DRS into good effect to close in on Foxy Red. So Foxy now under threat. He's lost the position in second to Rudy. He's now under threat from the Renault and from the McLaren behind. Harry still unable to get past Bando. In fact, he's just lost a position to Charlie. So Charlie moving up past his good friend. They literally live on the same road, just around almost about opposite each other. They're teammates for performance, and this time it's Charlie getting one up on Harry. And I'm sure Harry will probably hear Charlie laughing from just across the road from him.
Oh, Charlie will be loving that, won't he? He'll be absolutely loving that. And Harry, I can imagine, be so frustrated because of the way this second safety car period is starting, and he just at the minute looks like he's falling away from Charlie. Charlie on those medium tires, but remember Charlie does have that time penalty. But I'm just keeping an eye further on, and Scott Bugner is trying to help his teammate Harry out the best he can by keeping that McLaren behind him, and he's doing what Scott Bugner always does best. He keeps his elbows out, he makes that car as wide as possible, and Stinson, I imagine, would be getting rather frustrated inside that crash helmet, because he knows, like you say, he is the faster car at the moment on those medium tyres. He knows he can potentially get back onto the podium, even challenge for a race victory if he can get past his Renault. But at the moment, because Scott Bugner as well is managing to keep hold of DRS on Foxy Red, the defence here is quite straightforward for Scott.
Yes, Stinson goes a little bit deep into T1 there, so that compromises his exit into turn 2, so he's not able to get a run on Scott down into Sports Centre at turn 3. But yeah, so Stinson holding fire, Scott just backing him up there. You can see Stinson was pushing him along, saying, come on, let's keep going, let's keep fighting for this one. Stinson is going to get run out, but it's just a circuit where its overtaking options are at a premium, as TL44S picked up a penalty last time around, but he goes fastest, which is probably why he picked up the penalty. But good luck there from Tom. He's currently down in 11th position. Charlie Harris, Stinson, he tagged the rear end of Scott. Scott going very slow into some of these corners. You can tell, just trying to break a little bit earlier, just try and hold the battle in fourth position at the moment. He doesn't want Stinson getting up ahead and getting into a fight, as Harry picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. So Harry's even going from bad to worse. Here comes Stinson. Can he close in on Scott Buckner? No, he can't. Scott locking up slightly. That's going to ruin his exit for the rest of the sector here. So Stinson just needs to stay with him, and he might get a good run into the final corner and down onto the main straight with some DRS. But of course, Foxy, just ahead of the pair of them, is just about giving Scott some DRS. So you can see that flap on that Renault side opening up, and that's going to allow a little bit of a boost, as you can see, in fact, pulling away. So Scott obviously using a little bit of battery down the main straight compared to Stinson, who's only got about 25% left, as he's going to deploy it down the straight here towards turn 3. But not able to get the move done. Is Stinson? He's going to think about it, but in fact Scott almost tagging the rear end of Foxy, completely losing his braking point there, obviously looking in his mirrors, almost into the back end of Foxy Red 2000 in the Alfa Romeo, who will not be happy with that at all, because Foxy is on for a very good result at the moment. However, we've got a Red Bull 1-2, and we thought JCol was pretty surprised with getting on the podium last week, Sab. At the moment, he's winning.
He is, but he's going to become under increasing pressure from his teammate. Rudy has been reeling him in ever so slowly, and now he's under a second. And what's crucial, I think, that battle for third place between Foxy, Scott and Stinson, in a minute, it's allowing these Red Bulls to get away. And surely JCol will not want to, but if Rudy keeps catching him at this rate or not, surely he's just got to allow Rudy to go on ahead, and they don't want to be battling each other and allow that pack behind to start catching them, because as you can see, Foxy Red now is 2.3 seconds behind these two. So while ever they are fighting behind, surely Red Bull have got to play this sensible here. And JCol on those hard tyres compared to Rudy at the moment. Rudy, he's slowly catching him. He's just not quite close enough yet to get the move done, but Rudy looking very strong here. And if I was Red Bull, I know JCol would not be happy with that. If I were Red Bull, I'll be telling JCol in the next few laps to allow Rudy past.
I'm sure Scott Bugner can probably tell Foxy Red exactly what engine oil he's using, because he's that close. As here comes Stinson. Will he get round the outside? This would be an absolutely spectacular move if he gets to Dodge. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to give him the move, and he gets the inside line, and up into 4th position goes Stinson. Scott's going to try and come back at him, but there's no real place to overtake now, Scott. And in fact, he's going to give him a little bit of a kiss down into the corner to unsettle the car, and that's a bit of stock car racing for you. And it's going to give him the run. Will Stinson close the inside? No, he doesn't. He's going to leave the door open, so Scott's going to have to take the inside line, and Stinson drops back down. In fact, they've both gone onto the grass, and that's going to open the door for TGG Nathan and for Bando Biz. So watch for the Haas, who's going to sweep around the outside of potentially both of them as they go into the next corner. This is going to be close. What a move there from Nathan. Gets past both Scott and past the McLaren of Stinson up into 4th position. Scott's not wanting to give that one up at all, and they're all swarming over 4th position.
Wow, unbelievable. And further ahead, we've got a battle for first place. Rudy is all over the back of JCol now. Surely Rudy will get this move done down the start-finish straight. Rudy will have the DRS open now. Can he get the move done into turn 1? I think JCol might be slightly too far ahead here. Yes, Rudy does have to hold on, but will he get him in the second DRS straight here? Can JCol hold on? But you'd imagine surely it's not going to be too hard a fight from his teammate. Here comes Rudy down the inside. JCol definitely not fighting that whatsoever. Oh, as they almost wipe each other out. Rudy runs wide and JCol goes back into the lead. Wow.
It is all going on here in Australia. As we said, overtaking places are at a premium, so when they come up you need to take advantage. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. It's for the Mercedes, it seems, of, is that Marcus that's losing time there? So unfortunately Hatari in 10th position. Well, he's got a gap between himself and TL44S, so he's been able to get back on the pace, but behind we've got this absolute gaggle of cars leading all the way down from Foxy Red. As a yellow flag in sector 2, it's for Hatari again, obviously struggling with those tyres. But up in the lead once again is JCol. He's got Rudy behind him. These two Red Bulls fighting over position, and well, Rudy with a time penalty and on tyres that will start to go off before the end of this race. So JCol could feasibly let him go and just stay with him and know that his tyres will last to the end. Rudy will start to struggle, and he just needs to stay within a couple of seconds of him. JCol might be your race winner this evening, which is a huge improvement from what we saw at the end of last season, where JCol was, well, he had a decent result in Vietnam. He was fighting in the midfield, but well, to be on the podium in race 1 and potentially winning, I can't say a W this evening, but winning race 2, as Stinson picks up a 3-second time penalty there, so that makes it everyone from P5 down with a penalty, and Charlie Harris picking one up in quick fire behind. So yeah, we'll move away from this fight for the lead, and we'll get involved in the scrum that is currently 4th position. The Satari unfortunately retiring from this one in the pit lane, and Sab, it is becoming a bit of a battle royale this evening. We seem to be losing quite a few drivers.
Oh, yeah, I honestly don't know where to look. It's absolutely madness at the moment. Fight for the lead, fight for 3rd place. TG Nathan, I've been thoroughly impressed with the move he did there. That's going to be move of the race so far from TG Nathan. He's not got a penalty either at the moment, so TG Nathan really... Oh, I thought there might have been a bit of a glitch on my end, but it looked like Nathan was all out of shape there, but the car corrected itself, so maybe a little bit of a glitch with the game there. But TG Nathan holding on nicely. But I think I have to say, what a drive it's been so far from Fox Red. He's been under so much pressure, hasn't he, from numerous different drivers throughout the evening on that 3rd place. But Fox Red still hanging on in there for that 3rd place, and looking all right at the moment.
He is indeed, and Scott, who is not too far behind him, is now starting to shape up Nathan. He's going to want to give him a receipt from what he had earlier when, well, very much Nathan licked that proverbial stamp and sent it around the outside into turn 11, which is a move that we've seen from, as I said, from Scott himself and from Charlie Harris a few seasons ago. Charlie Harris doing it around the outside of San Pepito in one of the moves of the season back in, I believe it was season 8 last time we were here. But Yeah, well, Nathan, this time around, getting himself up into P4, making up for the fact that his teammate Andre, who started off the race so well, unfortunately hitting the wall just where we've just seen the guys flash past now. But, well, hopefully you guys are enjoying this one. As you can see, the battle is engaging once again between Stinson and between Scott. It was the pair of them that got this this entire gaggle of cars involved, and Bando is going to make up for the fact that Scott just squeezed Stinson onto the grass there. So Scott is going to have to watch out. He's being a little bit naughty here, just perhaps putting that car where he should, not giving enough room for some of the other cars around him. And in fact, Stinson now drops behind the racing point, and up to sixth position goes Bando. So Bando making some...
Oh, Stinson!
Stinson into the wall. Stinson, he's lost the car exactly where we saw. Who was it? I'm trying to think who it was earlier that we were seeing into the wall there. It was... one of the cars that brought out the safety car earlier. So Stinson down out of this one, and well, he's going to need a stop for a new front wing with lap 25 of 29. Well, Harry can breathe a sigh of relief there.
Wow. I was riding on board with Stinson, and he looked a bit erratic after. I think he might have been a bit frustrated after what happened between him and Scott Bugner, and it just all looked a bit erratic. And Stinson's retired. He doesn't fancy these points, and Stinson has retired from this session. He obviously clearly very frustrated with how that's ended, and unfortunately for TG Nathan, he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So just behind Fox Red, Stinson has got a 3-second time penalty, his first of the evening. So we've just got 10 drivers left in this race, Gareth. So if they all finish now, they all get a point.
They will, so everyone just stay where you are. And what we've actually missed is a move for the lead. JCol getting passed by Rudy, but with Rudy with 6 seconds of time penalties, JCol will know that. He knows that he's just got to stay within 6 seconds of his teammate, and he will be picking up his first win here on a Monday evening. Scott Buckner, who after being a little bit of a blocker for IFR Stinson, is now behind Nathan. Nathan picking up that penalty last time around. Scott still eyeing up a podium. They can see Foxy Red in front. Scott going deep there into the to penultimate corner, and that's going to cost him a little bit of exit speed on the final corner and open the door for Bando. There's these four breaking away. They've got out of DRS of Harry, who's really just a little bit lost in 7th position now. So Harry not looking as though he's going to make it 2 wins from 2 to open the season. And Charlie equally behind. There may have been front wing damage between Harry for Harry and for Charlie, because both of the pair of them struggling in the late stages of this one, as we see Foxy Red and Nathan changing positions. In fact, Nathan got into the gravel, and that's promoted Scott up into 4th position. So Nathan, after looking as though he was fighting for the podium, now finds himself down in 5th position. This is all going on, Sab, and I can't keep tabs on it all.
No, I can't either. And just further back, Harry got the move done on Charlie, and Charlie had enough of those medium tyres, has come into the pits on a set of soft tyres. So Charlie banging wheels with TL4 for rest as he comes out of the pit lane. So Charlie back up in 8th place now. So don't be surprised to see Charlie get that fastest lap point here, because he's the only one out there on the soft tyres. Foxy Red now picks up 3 seconds worth of penalties. So yeah, the minute, I honestly don't know how this is going to go with 4 laps left. It looks like it's going to probably be JCol take the win with Rudy behind, but who are you going to call for the final podium position place?
I wouldn't hold your breath that anyone's going to take the win at the moment. We've seen everyone seem to fall out the order. Foxy Red would be bemoaning that 3 seconds, because with that before that penalty he was on for 2nd position. But JCol now is starting to go back on the attack with his teammate, so his tyres are now starting to come back into their own. Of course the mediums will be going off, and here comes JCol. Will he go around the outside? In fact, Rudy getting out the way. Very smart there from Rudy, doing the job for his teammate. Decided that he wasn't going to have the pace to stay ahead of him, but the Red Bulls, I see here an intake of breath, I'm sure 4th and 5th are fighting.
Yeah, Scott Bugner's just overtaken Foxy Red, and TG Nathan is almost wiped out Foxy Red. Battling with Bando Biz, late break, almost wiped out Foxy Red. He tagged the back of that Alfa Romeo, but not enough to wipe him out, and TG Nathan breathes again. But yeah, TG Nathan looked really strong, didn't he, for potentially fighting for 3rd place. And right now we've got Scott Bugner in 3rd. They're swapping places every corner, it seems, here, Gareth.
Yep, Scott Bugden though with 9 seconds of penalties this evening, so he's under real threat from falling down behind Harry in 7th position. So Scott could potentially say goodbye to a podium in just a few short laps. But up ahead, we've still got the Red Bulls leading 3.5 seconds away from this field of cars that have all been fighting between themselves and have allowed the Red Bulls to disappear up off the road. So it looks as though Red Bull are on for a pretty handy result this evening. Just need both of them, well, to not pick up any more penalties, and then we'll see a 1-2 finish for the Red Bulls, which is not what we were expecting at all when we came into Australia. We were expecting to see the Renaults mop up this season, but yeah, very nicely done from Red Bull so far. But then behind we've got Scott, Foxy, Nathan, Bando, Harry, all in quick succession as they head down towards Sports Centre, and Harry just unable to do anything in the late stage of this one. It doesn't look like he's got any wing damage, as there you go, Charlie Harris does pick up the fastest lap point there with 1:22.219. He's out in 8th position, so he didn't really lose any positions. He wasn't going to go any further forward, it seems. And so Bando has now collected the back of Nathan. Nathan got all out of shape, and I think Bando's just got into the back of him. He's lost a little bit of has lost his front right end plate, so Bando is going to be slow. Does he get out of the way of Harry? Does get out of the way of Harry. So nicely done there from Bando. Decided that he was going to hold up Harry, so Harry getting a position out of nowhere. So a little bit of recovery management for your championship leader as Nathan picks up another 3 seconds. That's 2 late penalties for Nathan. He's in 5th position, so that's going to drop him down past Harry. So Harry picking up positions just purely at the moment through driving around and not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, Harry, this is a bit of a recovery, isn't it, for him? And with his rival of last week out of this race, Harry looking like, from what it looked like, it's going to be a comfortable, at least, podium place. He's on a good recovery drive here, and if any of the guys ahead do pick up any more penalties, Harry could find himself jumping not one but a couple of places where how close they are. But at the moment, Foxy Red is all he has to do now. He has to play it safe, doesn't he, Foxy Red? He knows if he just stays behind Scott Bugner, keeps Nathan far enough behind so he doesn't challenge him, that 3rd place will be his. But only a couple of laps to go. It definitely looks like JCol is going to win this, as JCol is back into the lead. Is he back into the... Yes, JCol is back into the lead, so Rudy in 2nd place, and Scott Bugner slowly reeling in Rudy. I imagine Rudy's tyres are really old, medium tyres, are starting to go off now. He'll be looking forward to that checkered flag coming out.
As yeah, it has been 28 of 29 breathless laps of the Albert Park Melbourne Australian Grand Prix here at the IRL F1 League here on a Monday night. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you. We've only got one tour left of this circuit, and it's going to be Excel JCol leading away. And of course you can listen to JCol on a Wednesday night when he covers the PC League. So he's not just, as he said before the race this weekend, he's not just a commentator, he's also a racer at heart. Well, he's going to lead the Red Bull around the final time here in Melbourne, and possibly, if all things go to plan for Red Bull, make it a Red Bull 1-2. Now, what can everyone else do behind? They're all starting to close down. Rudy, can Rudy hold on to this position? Of course, he's got an extra 3 seconds of penalties compared to everyone behind, but you can see Foxy Reddy just needs to make up about 0.8 of a second, and he can get up into 2nd position potentially. So Rudy, he's got a little bit more work to do to hold on to this 1-2. But in fact, what we'll do is, I know Harry is closing in on Nathan, so we'll just stay tuned for that. But we will go on board with our race leaders in the 3rd sector. It's been a brilliant race for JCol. It's been a brilliant race for Rudy. Rudy, who fell to the back of the pack at the start of this race, Stab.
Yeah, absolutely. As TG Nathan picks up another penalty, but those tyres of Rudy's must surely have gone, because Scott Bugner's made up about 6-7 tenths on Rudy in this lap alone, so those medium tyres must have gone. But absolutely superb. I did not call this whatsoever. Red Bull absolutely bossing it this evening. In the end, after all the drama we've seen, superb stuff from JCol this evening as he rounds the final few corners now, takes in the applause from the crowds. Here comes JCol to take tonight's victory. No penalties whatsoever. Absolutely superb drive from JCol. He takes his first ever victory here in IRL, with Rudy coming in second, his teammate. Oh, Rudy third. Rudy has dropped down to third. He must have lost so much time, and Foxy has stole 2nd place right at the end.
and Harry finishes in 4th position after all of that. So Harry, not on the podium, but I'm sure with everything that went on, we'll be pretty happy with 4th. But yeah, Rudy, I'm sure will be absolutely gutted with that. Just getting pipped to 2nd position and making it a famous Red Bull 1-2. But yeah, congratulations, JCol, the only driver this evening, apart from Finn Marcus, who's will be crossing the line. He's just coming around 3rd sector now. He's had a bit of a stop-start race as Marcus. He's had a couple of pit stops extra than what he would wanted, but he's out there without a penalty as well. But JCol, no penalties. Foxy Red, well, pretty impressive defensive driving this evening. Ahead of Rudy, who will, I'm sure, will be bemoaning those medium tyres that just gave up on him in the final stages. Harry jumps ahead of both Nathan and ahead of Scott, who dropped down after picking up 9 seconds of penalties. And well, it says Finn Marcus is your driver of the day, but Sab, you've got to give it to JCol. What a race there from the Red Bull.
Yeah, most definitely. JCol was absolutely superb. No penalties, drove it superbly. Had a bit of a battle with his teammate towards the end there, but it just absolutely fantastic drive from him. And this is the perfect result, really. I know Rudy ended up dropping to 3rd, but it's the perfect result, really, for Red Bull, because I don't think either of them expected to be on the podium, never mind both of them. So, yes, absolutely superb. And Foxy Red, he's a close runner, I'd say. Foxy Red for driver of the day. He was also fantastic, holding off many a cars. But wow, Gareth, what a race. And there is the classification.
JCol takes your race win in 44 minutes and 46 seconds of absolutely breathtaking racing here from Melbourne. And he finishes ahead of Foxy Red 2000, who makes a return to the podium for the first time in quite a few races. But Foxy, I'm sure, will be very happy with that, moving up from 7th on the grid into 2nd. Rudy, I'm sure, will be, bittersweet there for Rudy. Gets his first podium here in IRL, but I'm sure when we'll speak to him, wanted to pick up that 2nd position, that 1-2 for the Red Bull. Harry recovers back to 4th position after a spin earlier on, and all equally being passed by a good friend and rival Charlie Harris. And Charlie, as we noticed, just weaving side to side after he got past Harry, saying, "I got you, I'm under your skin." But watch out for that fight as that continues. Scott Bugner in 5th position, then TTG Nathan, Bando Charlie, Tealforfues and Finn Marcus round out your 10 finishers this evening. Everyone else retiring from this one in what was quite a race. I'm sure we haven't seen anything like that in quite a while, Sab.
No, we haven't. You called it well as well, didn't you? You said you'd expect to see a couple of safety cars, and you were bang on with that. And yeah, these guys, the ones that survived at least, had a superb race in the end. We just waited for our podium guys to come in now, Gareth. I believe you're going to be leading the questions this evening. I bet you can't wait to hear what these guys have to say, because I bet most of these guys would be glad that it's over.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm sure the guys will be joining us very, very shortly. And that was one of my favourite races I think we've watched in quite a while. So much action that happened throughout the race. And Sab, can you just let me know if we've got all the guys in? I haven't seen everyone flash up on the screen.
The top 2 are in. It's just waiting on Rudy.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll as we wait for Rudy, we'll get started, and hopefully you've all got your voices set to allow to be shared. So make sure you've done that on this lesson so everyone can hear what you're saying. I'm sure JCol, our race winner, will have it, because of course we'll be hearing from him on Wednesday evening, and we'll go to him straight away. Jay, what a result tonight! You've got to be absolutely thrilled with that.
Very. I'm really shocked that I ended up actually taking the win. Like, commiserations to both Stinson and Harry. They both, like, before that safety car, they were just absolute dominant. And same with Beast Haas. But all 3 of those guys just they were getting away from me from the start. I think I just got lucky, just jumping Beast Haas in the pit. Obviously, unfortunate for what Harry on the safety car restart, and I think Stinson just tried to do a second pit stop, but it just didn't work out for him. So I kind of got lucky in that sense. Of course, I also just want to say good drive to both Foxy and Rudy. Of course, I tried helping Rudy as much as I could at the end, but I suppose he just missed out.
Yeah, it was looking until the last lap that a 1-2 was on the cards for the Red Bull, but it was a remarkable drive from both of you. Rudy having spun almost to the back of the pack at the start of the race with contact at T4. But yeah, I mean, at what point did you think the race win is on for you here? Because there was so much going on in that one. We had obviously 2 safety cars and so many people changing positions coming in. We had so many retirements. At what point did you think I might have this?
I think it was at the beginning of the first safety car, because Harry, I know he was the leading hard runner. I think Stinson went on a set of mediums, and I knew they weren't going to go to the end if another safety car didn't come out. So it was more or less I was going to need to try and stay as close as I can to Harry. But then when he had the spin, I knew that I could possibly still be on for the win at that point. I think it was when all the other medium guys in front of me ended up pitting. I think is when I thought, okay, I've got a chance. It's just I saw my teammate behind me on mediums, and I thought I just need to get away.
Well, it was a fantastic race from you, and in fact, you now lead the championship after 2 races. So, you said in the interviews before the race that people will make sure that then they see you as not just a commentator, but a racer indeed. So, well, leading the championship after 2 races, what can you do this season?
I'm really hoping I'm going to be in contention for this title. Obviously, I know, as you said, I'm leading the championship at the moment. There is no way I can overlook Stinson or Harry or even a couple of the other guys like Scott and even Foxy as well now. There's no way I can look over them. I've just got to make sure I just keep my head down and just make sure just try and win. Well,
congratulations. First win here on a Monday night for you. First win in IRL. And great job and fantastic to see new people up at the top. And, well, I'm sure it won't be too long until we're speaking to you again. On to Foxy, and I've been enjoying this. That was great fun from you. 7th position, you've got to be happy with finishing 2nd, pushing hard at the end there to get past Rudy. As Rudy just telling us that his left rear was 90% at the end of that race, so that shows you just how much he was struggling to hold on to that car. But you've got to be happy. 2nd position, you were involved in quite a battle with quite a few drivers. TTG Nathan was attacking you. Scott was sticking his nose up the inside of you a couple of times. What was your focus purely on just holding position there? It wasn't move. Or obviously you want to move forward, but you've got to think with those guys behind you, your eyes were firmly in your mirrors. Well, GG, great result for you, and great result for the Alfa Romeo with Charlie picking up the fastest lap of the race as well. So, yeah, I'm sure, hopefully, we'll see you in the box again coming up. So, congratulations to race winner JCol, and of course to Foxy Red 2000. I believe we don't have Rudy this evening, which is a bit of a shame. I'd love to hear from him. I'm sure we'll catch up with him later in the week and find out how his race went. 90% on that rear left sab, pushing hard, just missed out on that 1-2 that looked also likely until the last lap for the Red Bulls.
Yeah, it did, and unfortunately for him, but he did well to bring the car home if that was the case with that tyre. But it was in the end a great result for the Red Bull team, bringing it home in first and third. I'm sure they'll be absolutely delighted. And JCol, I'm sure he'll probably agree with me. He didn't expect to be leading the championship after 2 rounds, but he does, and he deservedly does so far. He's drove superbly so far this season, and going into round 3, I'm sure give him a heap load of confidence. And yeah, Harry and Stinson, I'm sure, will have to have a word with themselves and have a think about it, because it's a bit of a messy race for the pair of them today. In the end, Harry did get the recovery, but they'll not want to be having any more incidents like that going forward if they really want to push for the championship.
Yeah. So watch out for that. We head to the concrete jungle of Sochi next week for the Russian Grand Prix, the third round of the season. So make sure you tune in for that 8 p.m. next week here on YouTube. And of course, plenty more racing throughout the week. Tomorrow night on Twitch.tv, you've got the Xbox F1 League. They will be streaming their POVs, and of course the PS4 F2 League will be streaming their race here from Albert Park in Australia. Wednesday night, it's the PC F1 League. JCol will be in the commentary box alongside V8 Field, and equally you have the F3 and the F4 League on the PS4/PS5s. And of course, Thursday night, so many days, so many races. Thursday night is Realistic Performance Night with the Xbox Realistic Performance and the PlayStation Realistic Performance Leagues, which you can find here on YouTube. So make sure you tune in for it all. Of course, you can subscribe and you ring the bell to be notified every time we go live with a new stream. Like the video if you enjoyed it this evening. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. We've seen the guys dipping into the comments and saying how good this one's been. It's always worth a watch back if you've been racing this evening. But of course, if you can't join us, make sure you have a very, very good week. Hopefully we'll see you back next week here for the third round of the IRL F1 League on the PlayStation. My name's been Gareth, joined as always by Sab for this one. We'll see you very soon. Stay safe and have a great week.